Hello everyone, Auvbri here and welcome back to another speed build in The Sims 4. Today we are building an airport, and this is once again a thing that we started on a live stream. So if you want to get in on one of my live streams, go check me out on the different social media pages that I have. For example, Discord. There's links to all that in the description down below, and that's the best way for you to join in on a live stream. But yeah, we started this on a live stream, and you can kind of see I just pulled out a lot of stuff in the back of the build, and that's kind of all the things that I thought that I would need. And this build took so long. Like, honestly, I spent an hour just on the roofing, which is insane because I could not figure out how to do it. But we made it work in the end, and as you could see from the video tour in the beginning, I think it looks pretty damn good. I'm so satisfied with how this turned out. So yeah, I really hope that you guys like it as well. The first thing we're gonna start off with building in this airport is actually a little parking garage thing. Now, it's not the biggest, and again, we are building on the biggest lot, which is a 64 by 64 lot, so I did maximize all the space that I could here. I could have used, honestly, 20 more tiles on each side, but you know, that's just the way that it is in The Sims, and a bigger lot size would have definitely made this easier, but I tried to fit everything into this build like for the best of my abilities. So we're building a little car garage, parking garage thing here, seeing that we have all of these new cars in the live edit mode, or live edit mode, however you want to pronounce that. I really wanted to have like a parking house, and also just because this was an airport, I thought that, you know, I've only been to an airport 4 times in my life, honestly, and I've always noticed that there are these parking garage houses things where you can park your car if you are going on a longer trip, and yeah, I wanted to replicate that as best as possible. So that's what we did here, and I think it turned out really nice. Just the overall airport here, I'm so super satisfied with how everything turned out. I think it's so cool looking. So in the front of the build here, we have this street that now, like this this road going in the front, and I thought that was a really cool idea to have these cars going in the front of the build. Also, that kind of, then you could have drop-offs and stuff like that for people going into the airport. Now, I also pulled out the planes. I would have loved there to be like other planes than these, because these are kind of like what I would assume to be like a 4-seater plane, but you know, this is the planes that we have, and I made it work. I think you can definitely tell this is an airport, and I tried to make it as realistic as possible, but still keeping, you know, some gameplay elements to keep it fun. So there's gonna be stores and food stalls and sitting places and waiting areas and like check-in areas as well inside the build. So I tried to keep it as realistic as possible, but still keeping that element of fun. Now, I wanted the street to turn here because I thought, you know, okay, so if it's just like a street that goes in the front, that makes no sense. So it would kind of loop around, you know. That's what I tried to do here. And then we had these amazing things. I can't remember where they're actually from, which pack, but I do believe that they are from Get to Work, maybe they're from Get Famous, I can't remember, but I just thought, you know, these are so cool looking. They have this awesome arch looking thing, which I took full advantage of in the build. I wanted to have this arch, so I wanted the build to kind of arch in on itself, and on the top kind of meet in, so it would kind of look like a long tube kind of thing. And I think we made that work in the end. I think it turned out so freaking awesome. Like, if you can't tell already, I'm so satisfied with how this build turned out. And if you like it as well, well, show it to your friends and share it with people in the different social media pages, because I took so long on this build and I really did spend a lot of time on detailing as well. So I really hope that you guys are gonna enjoy it. Now, there are a lot of stuff in this build that is actually cut out, and there is a clip missing, guys. I don't know why. It was corrupted when I tried to put it into my editing software, and it says that the clip wasn't viewable. Like, I couldn't do anything with it. It was just a black screen, which is kind of unfortunate, because it's the last 30 minutes, 40 minutes of the build where I do the shops inside. So that's kind of unfortunate, but I have taken a lot of video tours around the place and also on the inside, so you are going to see how that turned out. I don't know why I did that, but yeah, you know, I'm not the greatest with technology, so I couldn't even say what went wrong there, but you know, that's just the way it goes sometimes. But again, I have video tours of the whole thing, so no worries there. You're gonna watch everything, and you're gonna get a chance to see everything in the build as well. We're working on the outside here, and again, I did cut a lot of stuff because there is a lot of stuff where I'm just playing around trying to figure out how I can actually do this. It was a very difficult build to do. Also, seeing that in the front we needed to have like this thing where it went in, because we needed more space for the drop off zone, but I couldn't actually move the build further back than I had it now, because we also needed space for the runway where the planes would take off and land and stuff like that. So I had to get really creative here in the build, and this is where I started building the arch. Now, in the live stream we were like looking at our options with, you know, roofing pieces and trying to make that work, but I just started doing this, and it started looking really cool. And we did that on both sides, and that's actually when the live stream ended. And then I went in myself and spent like hella long time trying to make this work, because these are objects and they do clip through, and there is a certain point where if your object is actually going, you can kind of see it there, if it's going through a room, it will turn black, which means that it's not actually visible to the game, and it's not workable either. So there was like this certain point in time where I actually was so overbuilding this build, because it was making everything freaking difficult. And yeah, I kind of needed a break. And if you follow me on Discord, again, there's a link to that in the description down below. I actually do post screenshots and kind of like little teasers for you guys of what I'm currently working on, and I posted a picture of what the build was currently looking like from the front. And at that point when I posted that, I was so overbuilding. I also said that in the comment for the photo, that I was so overbuilding like on this lot, because everything was just annoying and everything didn't want to do what I wanted to do. So yeah, I needed a break, and then I went back to it and I created the watchtower here, which actually I think looks pretty good. Like it looks like a watchtower to me, and you know, it always has like these angled windows going down. I tried to replicate that as best as possible with the roofing pieces. It's not actually accessible to Sims. You're not able to get up there because it is a 4x4 what is it called, 4x4 house, so it's only 4 squares wide, and it takes 4 squares for a staircase to be in there, and then you need an extra 1 square to actually access the staircase from each side. So that would have made the watchtower too big. And this is where we get into the roofing action. Now, I did cut a lot of stuff from this part of the build because this was hell. Like, if there ever was a thing where I was so over it that I just wanted to quit a build, it was this part. But I also knew that getting this part right in the build would be critical, because I wanted it to match the size of the build. So we have these swirling arches, and I wanted to have this great, grand, big roofing piece that had like glass in the middle, and it looked like waves and stuff, and I just needed that to really translate into the roof. So the roofing pieces and the sides of the build, where we also have these arches, would kind of work together and kind of look like one cohesive thing. So that brought me a lot of pain, guys, but I think in the end it really turned out nice, and it turned out for the better, because I do think that honestly it looks so good. But I do know that a lot of you guys actually like to see what my building process is. Again, that's a good reason why you should come to a live stream, because then you get to see me at my absolutely worst, when I hate everything that I do. so yeah, but no. I know that a lot of you guys like to see the building process on how I do certain stuff. So I try to keep in a lot of the roofing stuff here as possible. There's a lot of stuff that I cut out, because again, I spent 45 minutes to an hour doing this roof, and I had to actually take a break and get back into it, because I was honestly really angry. Because it was horrible. Like, it just didn't want to do what I wanted to do, and I wanted it to look like waves, and I knew I wanted to have 3 pieces going in. Yeah, it was a challenge, but you guys know I like a challenge, and I think it turned out pretty nice in the end. So making it look like a wave ish type of thing was actually really difficult, but I think we made it work in the end. And yeah, you tell me, what do you think about the roof? Tell me in the comment section down below. Actually, tell me what you think about the airport in general at this point in time, where we're starting. So again, this is where we're skipping a bit in the build. So we've added some stuff in the front just to make it look a bit more nice. I wanted it, and as you can probably tell, this is a modern airport, so I wanted to keep that vibe. So we did that with some birch trees and you know, some nice seating areas, and I put in some more cars just to make it look really really trafficated. Is that a word? Yeah, let's go with that. I wanted to make it look busy, you know, and lots of cars made that help. And yeah, I had like this little space in the back here where I was like, okay, so what can we do with this space? And I thought, you know, it would be a nice outside seating area once you get into the airport. Like just kind of like a nice little relaxation area where you can just kind of sit down and relax while you're waiting for your flight, or while you're waiting to check in, or whatever it might be, because we do create like these check-in areas as well, you know, just to again make it a bit more realistic. It is not a workable airport, guys. I wish it was, but I tried to still keep it fun and keep the gameplay aspect of it all. And then, of course, some billboards here, because why not? I thought this was a really good idea, seeing that we have a city, kind of like a travel destination on one, and then we have like an airplane on the other. I mean, it's just perfect. It fits so well, and on top of like the parking garage, and I put in some greenery and stuff. It made everything just fit and look good, so I'm super happy about that. And of course, with the live edit mode now, all the objects are available for us to play around with. We have these city lights, street light things, and we have like this what is it called, traffic lights on one side as well. And yeah, all the cars now that we don't have to scale up from freaking toys. I mean, it's just all the new objects. I'm loving it. And it just, yeah, I think it made the build look so much cooler. Going to the back here, I am a bit off center with some of the columns, and I was throughout the whole build until the very end, where I realized that, hey, this column is off center. But yeah, we had the same problem in the front as well, and I couldn't figure out why. But some lovely peeps in the chat on the live stream said that there was like 9 columns on one side and 7 on the other, so that's why it was uneven. And in the back as well, one of the columns is just kind of like 1.5 tile to the wrong side, but I couldn't actually see that until the end. I knew something was bothering me about that though. I could see it in the windows that, you know, this it doesn't fit. There's something wrong with it. But we fixed it. Going to make the runway now, and I don't know, sometimes my brain just like gets these moments where I just honestly cannot think. And I started doing this with the tiles here, and I pressed Ctrl F to get these quarter tiles, and I was like, why aren't you just making a roof? That would be so much easier. So that's what we did, and I did it on this side as well. I'm starting to make the runway. So we want to have a big runway in the middle where you can land and take off. I raised some planes up. I'm gonna scale those 2 planes up to a bigger size, and then I wanted to have other planes just like waiting for passengers to get on board. And I have like a plane landing and one taking off, and this is where I had to get a bit creative. But because we didn't have a lot of space in the back, I wanted initially to have, you know, these kind of runways go out to each plane, but I couldn't honestly figure out how to do that with the limited space that we had. Also just because the building took up so much more space than I initially thought it would. So you're gonna see in the video tour in the end kind of like an alternative to that, where we have this waiting lounge here, where people can, you know, kind of wait to get on board their plane like that, and then go out to the runway. So I can see that I mixed up 2 clips here, but it should be fine. Working on the the front check-in area here. Now the first thing I wanted to tackle was the luggage area. Now I knew we needed to have like a luggage assemble kind of like line thing that we always see that they put your luggage on when you check in. We're gonna change the color of that, but I don't know, I thought that this table actually fit perfectly, because with the kind of pattern underneath, it looked like it would be kind of like one of those assemble things. So I thought that fit perfectly. We put some bags on top of it. I changed out the tables to these ones. They looked a bit more airport-ish to me, so that's why I chose those. And then I started making the lines to each check-in area, because I imagine that you would need to check in at different areas. Again, I've only ever been to an airport 4 times, and only traveled 2 times with planes. So of course back and forth, but that's why I don't actually know a lot about airports, and I don't like flying. But again, we made the front. I had to cut a lot of stuff here, but seeing that we are missing a clip, I'm actually a little annoyed that I cut so much. We're gonna put in some stuff, and we're almost at the video tour here. Gonna jump into the video tour in just about 2 minutes or so. Also, there's gonna be some clips from the video tour where you're gonna see the airport at night with the lit up runway and the lit up airport, and it looks so cool. I wanted to have like a little waiting area before you could check in. So we have like a little bar area on one side, and we have a food stall area on the other. On the top level here, I wanted to have some shops because I know that's also something that you see in airports, and I was just looking for the bar thing. But yeah, on top we're gonna have like a clothing store, a like bakery food thing happening, and then like a bookstore thing. I couldn't actually figure out what to make there. I wanted to have like different options, you know, and let's jump into the video tour. So this is the airport here, kind of swirling around. You can see the watchtower as well. I think it turned out so awesome. So guys, remember, if you want to get this build, it is on the gallery right now. Oh, I love that shot. It looks so cool. But yeah, it's on the gallery right now. Just search my origin ID, which is Auvbri, and you should be able to find every single one of my builds. Or you can just use the link to the direct download of the gallery page down below. If the gallery actually works again. It didn't on my last video, but yeah, use that link. Otherwise, Auvbri on the gallery is the best way to find me. I have some collaborations lined up with 2 amazing builders. It's still kind of like being figured out, but one of them is Simaki, and we're gonna build something together. Still secret, but it's gonna be awesome, and she's an amazing builder. And I am in talks with Evelyn, you might know her as Rosa, but yeah, about a build as well and a collaboration with her, so it should be awesome as well. But still, it's kind of like things that need to be figured out and sorted out. But now you know what I'm currently working on. The next build is going to be a kind of like gas station I'm working on, so definitely stay tuned for that as well. And yeah, the video tour inside here, you can kind of see some of the stores. Here we have the clothing store. Yeah, and as we take a look at, we have 4 clips of video tour left. I just want to say thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please share it with your friends and subscribe to the channel and help spread the word of the channel. It's not going too well at the moment, and I really want to get back into YouTube, so help me out with that, and I really appreciate you guys. So thank you so much for watching and subscribing to the channel. And there's nothing else for me to say other than have a truly fantastic day wherever you are in the world, and I'll see you next time for another video. Bye!